need to do to secure their land, their life, their heritage, and the future of their children. We are not going to be rehashing what is going on the ground. We're going to be telling you what is happening that is causing the horrors that you are seeing on the ground. So today we are going to be talking about a topic that got me very impassioned last week, which is why I'm not talking about it this week. And that is the fact that there is a video that we have that the Bauchi governor is talking about the fact that all Fulanis from around Africa are Nigerian citizens. And we're asking the question, is that true? Or what is actually going on? Is this a bona fide invasion while we're looking for the guns, even though there are guns involved as well? So today, we're going to have Dr. Carey, who's going to be talking about that topic. Are they Nigerian citizens? Or what is going on? And then we have Madukwe, who's going to be joining us in a little bit. And she's going to be talking about the Constitution. What does the Constitution say? And then we have Donald, who would be talking to us about the things that the non-indigenous, non-ancestral land-owning Fulanese are being given, and should they be given money? And you'll see that in the video from the Bauchi governor. Land, and this is all free. Money, land, jobs, and apparently lives too, to be welcomed into Nigeria. And then finally, we'll have Honorable Ogarakis, who's going to be talking to us about, will the 2023 elections fix the problem? And then everyone is now going to participate in talking about what exactly do we need to do next, okay? So right now, I am going to hand it over to Dr. Carey to introduce the subject matter, and then to talk about what's actually going on. Welcome, Dr. Carey. We're very happy to have you today, and always look forward to your leading the discussions. Welcome.
All right. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for those who have joined today and those on the program, those who may be watching globally. Everyone is welcome, and the topic today is actually it's about who is the true Nigerian indigene? Okay, who is the true Nigerian? And are the Fulanis Nigerians originally or not? And why must they be given exceptional privileges over and above indigenous Nigerians? Why are our resources being depleted in favor of a particular minority group? And I'm privileged to start this discussion, and I'm going to present some basic facts about, and it's important to be a student of history. And I hope it's going to trigger more discussions, and we need to kind of brainstorm, have an understanding, so the true indigenous Nigerians will know their rights and why we must insist that we are true indigenous Nigerians. So to answer the questions, are Fulanis from Africa Nigerian citizens or not? What are they?
Excuse me, Dr. Carey, did you want us to play the video from the Bauchi governor, and then we can...
Yes, please. Yeah, so if you can play that first.
If you are queued up. Yeah. Because I think people need to see this. The true indigenous landowners need to really see this and hear what is said. Donald, are you with us? Hello, Donald. Your mic is off.
Okay, I'm trying to the name of the video okay. Version of.
Yeah, that's the one, the Bauchi governor video.
Okay.
Why should federal government use resources for this country to accommodate Fulani men who are not Nigerians?
You see, as I said, we are already accommodating them. Do you delineate and then really know who is not a Fulani man from Nigeria? They are all Nigerians, because I said their identity, their own citizenship is Nigerian, even though we have relations all over the world, all over Africa. And so, presumably they are Nigerians. I think you get me.
Dr. Carey.
Right.
I am not going to say anything because I'm stunned again.
Yes, thank you very much. That's it's an eye opener. When I watched that and I looked at, it's an eye opener for the true indigenous Nigerians to understand the mentality of the Fulani ruling elite. And to answer the question, are Fulanis from around Africa Nigerian citizens?
This meeting is being recorded.
Or what are they? Now, all Fulanis, whether they're from Africa or they're in Nigeria currently, they're not originally Nigerian citizens. They're not Nigerians. To put it in a perspective, there had never been Fulanis in Nigeria until about maybe the 16th, 17th, and especially the 19th century. And we had kingdoms. We had the Hausa had their kingdoms. We had the Hausa Bakwai and the Banza Bakwai. They had their kings and their chiefs. Of course, you all know that we had the Oyo Empire. We had other empires that were existent and indigenous to Nigeria before the coming of the Fulani. So we know historically that was, so they're originally from the areas of Senegal, Fouta Djallon area. And that's a fact, it's historical. So all Fulanis, including those who are in Nigeria and those from around Africa, they're not Nigerians by origin. So to say that those from Africa, for the governor of Bauchi to say that is a pure distortion of fact. And it's not true, it's not factual, it's untrue to say they are Nigerians, and so we must accommodate them. Now, the reason being, we know of a fact historically that Osman Namfodio in the 19th century, from the about 17th to 19th century, settled in the Hausa state community as an Islamic scholar. And of course, he now staged a jihad using the Hausa peasants, the poor Hausa peasants, and the Fulani to upstage all the Hausa chiefs, and therefore installing all the Islamic Fulani emirs. So all emirs in the north, all of them are products of jihad. They're all of them, from Sokoto to Katsina, to all of them, Adama, all those emirs that you know are products of jihad, and they are not indigenous. None of them is indigenous to Nigeria. So to say that the Fulanis are indigenous, especially those who are not even now in Nigeria, it's a mere distortion of facts. And it's not true. And therefore they should not be given, even the ones who are in now shouldn't be given any special treatment, let alone those coming from outside. Now, that takes me to the question of Fulanization and jihadism.
Okay, Dr. Carey, can we show the video? Donald, can we show the
right.
Fulanization video?
Yeah.
So this video is going to talk about that agenda and and what that agenda is going to accomplish for the Fulanese.
With a benefit of what has happened in my state, a similar program of a Ruga settlement was not called Ruga in 1987. The government approved land that was taken from the natives in Zangon Kataf and Kachia local government. and created a grazing reserve. And they call it Kachia Grazing Reserve. By 1990, it was changed to Laduga Grazing Reserve. And Laduga is a Fulani ward. And today, as I'm talking, it was an initial landmass of 30 hectares of land that was taken from the natives, no compensation. And up to now, no single native that is there that can even go there. If you go, you cannot even enter that place as a native. And huge development is taking place. Big buildings, big hospitals. You don't even know what is going on there in Laduga. And it has been surreptitiously increased in size to 70,000 hectares. And so if we have this Laduga...
70,000 or 70? 70,000. It means hectares. 30,000 was taken initially.
From 30,000. From 30,000, it has been increased to 70,000, and it is still there. So there is the plan is to replicate this Laduga model all over the nation, thereby changing democracy, the political democracy, the demography, the economic demography, the social demography, the cultural demography of a people all over the nation, and Fulanize every place in the nation.
These are fears that you have.
These are fears. These are not only fears. This is something that is happening to me. I'm giving testimony.
Yes, this is something that you've seen.
This is something that we have seen happen in Kaduna State, in southern Kaduna.
This is a fear.
And we, the land of our people, we cannot get there. We cannot go to farm. We cannot, this is the land that was taken over from the people. It was not compensated for, and we cannot go there to farm. We have become second-class citizen in our own state, in our own country, and somebody is saying that it is fears, only fears. This is real. The fear is real, and the replication of this model all over the country, and the intent is real. We have IDPs scattered all over this country. Now it is rainy season. Several hundreds communities are living in the rain. They have living in the scorching sunshine. They are now living in the rain. They cannot get back to their farm. They will be starving. They don't have medication. And nobody has talked of establishing exclusively, settlements for such category of citizens of the country, only to talk about Ruga, that the Ruga settlements will bring about peace between herders and farmers. How will it bring about peace between herders and farmers? And we are saying, even in the northwest region, there is a category that has been displaced in Katsina and Zamfara and other states of the core north by this armed banditry. And they are all IDPs. Within the country, nobody has thought of creating any settlements for such category of people. And we are talking about Ruga. So this program from the onset has some ulterior motive.
Right. Thank you very much. That is quite factual. It's a piece of land that I personally know. It's not, the gentleman was not speaking from just fear, like you said. It's confirmed. And the thing I want you to understand about Kaduna State, anything that the Fulanization agenda is first experimented in Kaduna State, once it's successful there, it's replicated. It's always been there since during the northern, that's what I don't know whether you used to hear about Kaduna Mafia. So the thing is, Fulanization agenda, as you have heard and watched from the video, includes a land grabbing. That's one. Jihad is the primarily umbrella. The jihad, war itself. It's the main umbrella. It's as Usman Danfodio came in through war and conquered. So jihad is the main weapon or the umbrella. Then land grabbing is number two. If you resist jihad, then genocide follows. And that's exactly what is happening now, because as the gentleman mentioned, these people, about 117 communities have been displaced in southern Kaduna alone, about 50,000 indigenous people of the land. There are about 56 indigenous southern Kaduna, people from southern Kaduna who are not Fulani, who are indigenous. In about 107 communities have been displaced. 17 communities have been. So it's war, it's land grabbing, it's genocide. Economic war is one of the strategies of Fulanization. And how is it done? By depriving. Once the indigenous people have been displaced and they can't farm, they become impoverished. What do you hear about all these? Look, Kaduna, for example, has the highest military formations in Nigeria. It is supposed to be the most peaceful state in Nigeria, but it's actually the most volatile because of the agenda itself. Weaken the people, weaken the security apparatus, and make sure so that's economic war. When people are abducted, when people, what they call it, it's actually the same thing as jihad, the same thing, different strategies. They're extorting money from them, therefore impoverishing them. We're talking about millions, almost billions of money, through abduction of indigenous people in southern Kaduna. Also, divide and rule is one of the strategies. It happens in southern Kaduna, and also whatever is experimented in Kaduna is actually also made global in Nigeria. And also another strategy is conspiracy with the global world and giving a wrong narrative and calling it a conflict rather than calling it a war. It's actually beyond a conflict. It's a genocide. If you look at the United Nations definition of it, when there is a deliberate ethnic cleansing of a particular group of people, whether religious or ethnic group, it is genocide. So that's one of the strategies. Then another strategy is lies, deceit, and propaganda. That's what we call takia in jihad. Jihadists can lie to you. It's in part of the strategy. I can lie to you and say to you, let's have a peaceful pact. I can just give me a piece of land. I'm going to stay. I won't do anything to you. I promise you I'm not going to take your chicken. But they know that in the next 10 years, in the next 5 years, I'm going to attack you. I'm going to take over your land. So deceit, it's part and parcel of jihad. And then the other strategy is distortion of history. Okay? Distortion of what? History. And that's another strategy. And because as long as history is distorted and lies have been told over the years, people are going to believe. That's why I believe that now history is not being taught in the Nigerian curriculum. The reason is there's a generational gap for people to forget about the history of the Fulani and their settlement in Nigeria. I want to emphasize that all emirs, every emir, Now, let me just explain for 2 minutes. There are two categories of Fulani. That's what we call the house Fulani, the elite, the ruling class. And there's also the nomadic Fulani. And the nomadic Fulani are the ones who are carrying out the killings, and they're foot soldiers of the elite Fulani, the ruling class, the emirs, the presidents, the governors. As you heard from the governor of Bauchi State, he actually spoke the mind of all of them.
Yes.
I trust you that the governor of Kaduna State would give him a pat. They're not in the same party, but they would give him a pat on the back. So you spoke for us. Now, if you listen to that video, he actually accused the governor of Benue State, his fellow governor from the same party, that he is the main problem, that he's not handling the matter in the right way. And Buhari said the same thing, go and settle with your people. Now, so the killing in Benue State alone, there's 1.5 million displaced indigenous Benue people as at today. And yet, so this is the agenda. This is the Fulanization agenda, like I said, and it's a very, very well-marshaled plan. The divide and rule is a very strong plan, and they have got it very well. Divide the north, the south, the southwest, and the southeast. Never let them come together. Divide the people of South, every state, divide them so that the indigenous people will never speak from the same voice. So I'll pause here, okay, for a moment, and that's actually the agenda. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And Donald, if you can kind of play us a couple of videos, just so that people can understand that this problem is not just in one place. The next video that Donald is going to be playing is going to be from Katsina State and what's happening there. And then we're going to have the video where Prof. Akintoye is reading a letter from the jihadists. So we are very clear about what they are doing.
Katsina State, I went to Kwatarakwashi. So along the Kwatarakwashi Kankara Funtua road, I saw Hausa youth blocking the road. And when I asked what is this, they say their people are being killed and the government is not doing anything. I noticed that a lot of the headsmen that I talked to, they don't speak English. They don't speak Hausa. Because I say, hey, came to me now. He kept quiet. I said, may I say, why is he not talking? He kept quiet. And they say, they should stop speaking French. And they say, two Palais Francais, he said, oui. And he starts feeling comfortable. And as we continue to talk, I found some of these people are from Mali, some from Mauritania. Now, what we are saying is, are we having settlements built for imported populations? Because as I'm talking to you right now, there are no Nigerians from Kanu, from Sokoto, from Katsina, applying to be moved from their current homes into bushes somewhere else. It does not exist anywhere in this country. So we see a strategy to import populations from the sub-region and then use them to displace and alter demographics. This is not, that's why the government, when they say they're suspending, if you watch President Buhari's his way, he employs Takia. And I understand the Polaco very well. So, yes, he could say one thing because, as the gentleman rightly mentioned, it's the same Takia he uses, deception. He said first grazing reserve. The country said no. He came back again, he said cow colony. We said no. Because the only thing in this game is land. The child is just. I go to Jos, I see people displaced. Why are they not returned back to their homeland?
Donald, we can end this one and start the Akintoye.
To resettle on that land.
Regard the land on which they have lived for thousands of years as their land. It is not their land, the letter said. The land belongs to us, Fulani, and we have now a reason to take it. And we are not talking of the peoples of Benue State alone. We are talking of all the peoples of Nigeria. We have accumulated money and weapons for a long, drawn-out war. We have invited Fulani from all the rest of West Africa to come and join us to take our land in Nigeria. And if you think your federal government can defend you, you are kidding. They cannot defend you. They had a letter to us and we all sat down there wondering whether we were still in Nigeria. It is, people who are doing that, you now equate them to a Afenifere or to a.
Okay, so you have heard it from different angles. This is what is going on in Nigeria. So the question that we were asking is, are Fulanis Nigerian citizens, or is this the invasion that we have been ignoring and not paying attention to? I'm going to invite everyone to chime in a discussion on this, because this is a very important situation. You heard Prof. Akintoye. What did he say? That they have invited their brothers. What did Bauchi governor say? They are inviting their brothers to come in to Nigeria. So all the presenters, Dupe, you do have, I think I made you co-host. Donald, Honorable, you guys can chime in on your thoughts on that. Are they Nigerian citizens?
Okay. Do you want me to come in?
Yes, please.
Okay. So yes. So just to emphasize what from the video that we just watched, that they are bringing Fulanis from West Africa to come and settle is because they want to change the demography and gradually, take over the land and then call it a Fulani land. But, they're doing that in multiple ways, right? They're bringing the foot soldiers, just like Professor Akintoye just said in that clip. And also, they are also doing, settlements. But there's the other part where they are using the Constitution also. They've used the Constitution also to make it to work to their benefits and to make sure that they Fulanize Nigeria. Let me just talk quickly about how the Constitution is being used.
So, Dupe, can we get other people's thoughts on the Fulanization, and then you're going to come in that whole section to talk about the Constitution, because you're next on the Constitution, because that people are going to find it very interesting what the Constitution actually says. So, Ogarako, do you have any comments? Donald, on our Fulanese, are they Nigerian citizens? As Bauchi governor has said, he has basically said that all Fulanese around the world, wherever they may be found, are Nigerians. That how can we tell if they are not Nigerians? And as Dr. Carey has said to us, and as we saw in the video, they're French speaking. I know we have good French speaking classes in Nigeria, but no, we speak English or Pidgin or Hausa or some of those languages. But the people that we're seeing are not that. So, Honorable, are they Nigerian citizens, or is this the invasion that we have been ignoring?
You see, everybody, please welcome to the forum. The messages, the videos, and even the contributions of good number of us, starting with that of Reverend Carey, can tell you clearly these people called the Fulanese, all around them, cultural inclination, demographic arrangements, and either even spiritual and religious follow-up. Some of these issues that are happening today now, or a good number of issues that are happening today, is exactly what Otman Danfodio said a long time ago. And some people, diehards, are working to that. And I don't think he just said his opinion as well. I think he said opinion. He's a both political and the spiritual leader of his people. So automatically have said what's the mind of the people. And I believe this is one of the things that some people saw, including the younger revolutionaries, and felt that some certain people should be eliminated either to change the course of event. Unfortunately, maybe they couldn't achieve their goal, and the goal was misinterpreted or interpreted however it's interpreted, and it's affected Nigeria to today. Unfortunately, all the political engagement in Nigeria today is trying to make sure that one side dominates the other, because actually the foundation is a federation. And this federation, either because of the fear of possible domination, made it before that each region should have equal of the other. But when the coup came in and then disfigured the whole arrangement of the foundation, what we have now is a struggle for domination. And I think the Fulanese are doing it far better than others, either because of the link of having their co-citizens on almost a good part of West Africa, and then using opportunities of empty border to bring them in. And more importantly, for the fact that they have seized the opportunity in Nigeria, call it power, call it government, for a very long time. And this power has centered every economy of Nigeria almost to the center. And this economy is being used to settle those people who are coming. And then unfortunately, the citizens become slaves in their own land. This is very unfortunate. But this is
okay. So are you saying, are they citizens or are they not?
Then the point, just like I said, what you can, just self-care, said it before, where we have classes of citizens, Fulanese, and with the year, I think they said they started coming here around settling at 18 something. Right. Yes, one may tell me it's 100, 200 years or more, and maybe it seems you cannot be thinking of letting them out. But the idea of them trying to claim equal with the citizens is, for me, not acceptable. And
okay, let me redirect the questions. Are all Fulanese outside of Nigeria?
It cannot be.
It cannot be. They're from Mali, they're from Gambia. He is saying that they are all Fulanese around Africa. He's saying they are Nigerian citizens.
Let me respond to you. Let me respond to that. Okay. It cannot be, it should not be. Okay. That's why I still make reference to the time of the settlement of the early, what do you call it, Fulanese. But it doesn't mean that every other Fulani, any other place can claim Nigeria as their country or their home of origin. No. Even if they claim they are homeless or citizenless, that should not make them, they shouldn't wake up today to claim that they have citizenship to Nigeria. Then if they feel they are citizenless, let them remain that, but not to claim Nigeria, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, let me
okay, go ahead.
Yes, let me just add this. Thank you very much for that contribution. You know, that's the question of indigenization and citizenship. Okay, so let me just clarify. no Fulani man can claim to be a true indigenous of Nigeria. And of course, no Fulani man from outside Nigeria can claim to be a citizen. But however, what they have done, the Buhari government has done, is to actually make it open for them. You know, that's an open door policy where all Fulanis can travel today. They don't need a visa. They will get a visa at the entry point. Not ploy, not clandestine agenda is to favor them so that they bring, so it's part of the strategy of, invasion, like someone rightly said. They have the militia. There's a militia angle who are from any part of West Africa. Those ones are ready, marshaled to invade and attack any community. Yes. So one of the strategies is to send the foot soldiers, even the so-called settled Fulanis in our communities today. They're actually the spies.
Exactly.
They're the informants. I mean, there's records of them. They know when the attack is going to happen to indigenous communities, and they run away first, and they come back only after the invasion has been done. So no Fulani man can claim to be a true indigenous Nigerian, and two, none of them from West Africa can claim to be. But however, the current government is giving them that leeway to come in and invade and occupy. And so let me use the term occupation versus. So the jihad, it's a mixture of religious and ethnic. So a typical Fulani man is brought up to feel superior to any other person. I mean, we grew with them in the community. We know there are some villages in southern Kaduna, for example, where the chiefs are Fulani, and you don't have any right. It's your land. Some of us fought it for 30 years. If you there's a video on YouTube, you'll see my own testimony of the personal experience of fighting a Fulani chief in our community for 30 years to get our land back. Okay, so that is a strategy. They're born to believe to rule. It's a mentality. Whether they're educated or not educated, they are born to rule. Any other person is inferior. So there's a slave, the conquered, the conqueror, and the conquered. The serfs, the slave and the slave master mentality. If you Asha Rock is operating the same policy today.
So can you talk to us about Zamfara gold and South oil? Since you're talking about that.
So the thing is, the mentality is this. Now, every other resource, because they believe they have conquered Nigeria already, as you and I are sitting now, they believe that in their mindset, Nigeria is a conquered territory. They're only bringing the Fulani to settle. And one of the ways to settle is the jihad. Now, the resource control is a major thing for them. Major. Oil. You can see, Buhari, how many times has he been a minister of oil, petroleum? The oil wells are controlled by them for many years up to this moment. The head of NNPC. So oil is there.
The top 20 in NNPC.
Thank you. But the gold in Zamfara, for example, which is supposed to be for the Hausa man, is for the Fulani man in Zamfara. So the Zamfara state can mine the gold and they own it and license it. But the one from Rivers State or from any of
your Ondo State or Oyo State,
Ondo State is not there. It's for the federal government. Actually, it's for them.
Yes.
So because Kano, for example, you know how many the so-called. I mean, I lived in Kano for almost 10 years, and it was before Jigawa. Now it's been split. You know how many local governments they've got there. So the resource control still goes to the north more. That it does go. So because every other one other than the Fulani is a subject, it's a slave, it's an inferior, especially if you're not a Muslim.
So let me ask the question.
Crumbs.
Yeah. Let me ask the question. So if Fulani from all over Africa are Nigerian citizens, why hasn't the Igbo, the Hausa, the Yoruba, and the others, because I mean, there are Igbos in Cameroon, they're all over the place, Yorubas all over the place. Why are they not accorded the same if this is not an invasion?
Yeah, thank you. Very good question. The reason why they're not accorded the same, they are seen. Let me start with the Yoruba, and I'll come to the Igbos. Okay, the Yorubas, because the Yoruba is divided into two. There's the Muslim and the Christian, and the traditional three. But they now they're homogeneous. Now, they make the mistake of thinking that because there's a Muslim community, therefore the Muslim in the north would give them accords and respect. As far as the Fulani in the north is concerned, a Muslim in the west is as good as any infidel. Therefore, they don't have any rights. They can be used as just as pawns. That's fine to ride and rule, but not to be trusted. All right. Then coming to the Igbos, now they'll always tell you about the civil war. They'll always tell you the Igbo man is self-sufficient. They are afraid of the Igbo man's courage, the industry, the boldness. If the Igbo man hates you, he'll tell you to your face, "I don't like you. I'm going to fight you." Kano is a typical example. If you go to Sabongari, the Igbo man has been able to secure himself in Kano after many years of war and killings and destruction. So they know, so there's a fear knowing that the Igbo man can be self-determined anywhere they are. But they still see the Igbo man as, and then they believe that is the ruling elite of the Igbos, they see them as money grab, and they want money. Therefore, if you dangle that money onto them, you can always control them. So that's a strategy. All right. Then, of course, so I've talked about the Hausa. Then the Hausa, as far as they're concerned, the Hausas are their subjects. They've conquered them, and they remain. So they're called the peasants, the talakawas. If a Hausa man wants to be in the ruling to rule, they have to be subservient to the Fulani. So they can't raise their voices against them, and therefore their rights are protected in Islamic as Muslims, but not as Hausas. As Hausas, there's a now El Zazaki. Let me give an example. You know why El Zazaki was detained for many years? Because his Hausa is not Fulani. The movement is seen as a threat to the caliphate. The Islamic movement of Nigeria is a threat to the Fulani caliphate, therefore should be crushed. And that's why 400 of them were killed in Kaduna, and up to today, 400 were massacred by the military of Nigeria. Because the governor of Kaduna State is a Fulani man. So any form of resistance in any shade, whether it's through religion or through, so every other person is a subject, but the Fulani man is the king. I said today, Asarok is a kingdom. Okay, you go to Buhari to beg.
Right. Now, I mean, this is incredible information that our people need to hear. I mean, it's incredible information because, again, the reason I asked the question about why hasn't the Yoruba, the Igbo, the Hausa demanded the same rights, right? It's like we're actually avoiding, we are not fighting the right battle, and we have not been fighting the right battle because this has been out in our faces, right? I mean, even the International Criminal Court talked about the fact that the Nigerian armed forces have committed crimes against humanity, rising to the level of war crimes. But who are they committing the crimes against? They are the Middle Belt to South. The Christians and moderate Muslims who are, as you say, in the West or in the Middle Belt, right? Because as far as they're concerned, they're still infidels, right? So we've answered the question that no, Fulanis from around Africa are not citizens based on where they originated from, and even based on international law. You can't just wander into I cannot go to Cameroon now where they have Igbos, right? And say, I'm a Cameroon citizen. Or go to any of the other countries that have Igbo. I said, I have Igbo blood, right? So I'm from there. That is not done, but here it is being done. And I think thank you so very much, Dr. Carey, and we'll be talking about the other things, other subjects. But right now we're going to bring up Modupe, who's going to talk to us about the Constitution, because there's things in the Constitution, in that 1999 Constitution. So people need to understand that it's beyond the fact that it is fraudulent. And Modupe, you can unmute. It's beyond the fact that it is fraudulent. There is so much in there that is against the ancestral land owners. And she would explain why I keep saying that. Go ahead, Madam. You are quite welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Jane, and thank you, Dr. Kayari, for for the very good.
That was great.
Yeah, I just want to say quickly that when you said Yoruba land is divided into two, we are not divided. I'm telling you, we we live together, Christians, Muslims, even the traditionalists, right? We have not just we have Christians, we have Muslims, we have traditionalists. All of our Christians, right, who have traditionalists in their families, we celebrate together. All Muslims who have Christians, we celebrate with Christians, and then we celebrate with our traditionalists. We don't divide ourselves about with regards to religion.
Sorry, I agree with
and
you,
that's
and
what
that's why
they
I want homogeneous.
Yeah, right. No, he said that. I think he's saying that the
but the North
Fulani is dividing you into two groups.
Yeah, in their head,
that they
but we
tolerate
are
and
not
the
divided.
other one that they're going to kill.
Yeah, they wish, but we are not divided at all. When you meet a Yoruba man or a Yoruba woman, they are Yoruba first before they are Muslim or before they are Christian. So we are not in their mind. They think, but we are not. But the issue is this: is that we just don't know. A lot of us, a lot of us just don't know the depth of the plan to Fulanize our land. And that's why this education is really important, right? And so, to now segue into what, into how they're making, the Fulani Buhari and his hegemony, or, his regime and the caliphates are using the constitution to bring the Fulani to invade Nigeria, right? Like we said, they're using the foot soldiers. They're also using, all the settlements within Nigeria, but then they are also bringing their people. And so because he has the executive power, and because we have that kind of constitution where where immigration is determined by the president, unlike in the US, where the power of immigration is in the legislature, but then they delegate to the government. To the executive, which is the executive branch. But there is a process. The executive branch can just not willy-nilly get up and say, "Hey, I'm going to give citizenship," right? If for any reason, and we know that in the US, there have been amnesties. It's a statute has to be first of all implemented first, right? And that goes to the legislature. But we don't have that in Nigeria, and it's for a reason, right? Because we know that the goal all along, the plan all along, according to their father, Sardauna, said that the new nation, Nigeria, the new nation, we should do everything, and he said we should do everything to make sure that we keep power, that power does not leave us. And so part of what they're doing, right, is to make sure that they now bring all of their people, and they're using that power, which is their fraudulent constitution, to make it happen. So I'm going to share quickly, go over the document that I have in front of me right now. So it's basically talks about the types of the citizenship that the types of the different ways to have citizenship in Nigeria. Can you all see my screen? Can everybody see my screen? Yes, okay. So you see citizenship by birth, by registration, and naturalization. If you look at citizenship by birth, there's something in there where they said in this section, right, it says the date of independence means the first day of October 1960. So it's saying citizenship by birth is the one where it's natural, which means that you were born within the territories or the boundaries of that country, right? Or you have a parent, at least a parent or grandparents who were born within the boundaries of that specific, geographical region. But they put October 1st. Why didn't they say, when Nigeria was first formed, right, which was in 1914? You know why? It's because at that time, a lot of Fulanis, their grandparents, great-grandparents were not born in the boundaries, in the geographical region of Nigeria, because a lot of them were born outside of what we can now call Nigeria. So that's why they smartly, in their stealing sense, I would just call them, because they are a bunch of thieves. Anyway, so they put so they put the date that they will use to determine, natural born Nigerians to 1st of October. We know Nigeria existed before then, right? But it's their own way of, their own way of including themselves and calling themselves indigenous. No, they are not indigenous, but just to make it look okay, right? Then the second part, the second type of means of acquiring citizenship in Nigeria, according to this section, because this is the section of the 1999, the fraudulent 1999 Constitution, and it says that by registration. But what I want us to focus on here is that, it says that the president, you see that once the president is satisfied, you see how? So everything is in the hands of the president. And so do you now understand why they have to make sure that the quote of Sardauna is being observed all the time? Do not let power, do not let power leave us, them, right? They always want to be the one in power, because then their constitution said, oh, wait a minute, it's the president who will determine who is going to be registered as citizens, right? Let's look at the third one. The third type, or the third means of becoming citizen in Nigeria. The same thing, it says that this section, any person who is qualified in accordance with the provision of this section may apply to the president again, to the president. So all of this, except for the natural born Nigerian, which they already put the date as October 1st, 1960, right? The president decides who will be citizen or who will not. So all these are smart ways, or their own, what they perceive as their smart ways of getting people that are non-Nigerians to be Nigerians, right? And just like Dr. Okari told us that that right there at the border, those non-Nigerian Fulanis can just come in right there at the port of entry. They will be giving visas. In fact, I don't even think they're giving them just visas now. They are actually giving them they are actually giving them PVCs, right? Permanent voter card. You cannot be a voting member of a community or a nation unless you are a citizen. Am I right or wrong? Even here in the US, you have to be a citizen for. So what does that mean? If you're just coming in and they're giving you PVCs, it means that you're already a citizen. So they're issuing out citizenship on the fly.
Well, actually, if I may make a comment, Madupe, and taking it back to what the Bauchi governor said, he said, how can you tell if they are the ones that were in Nigeria already or the ones from outside? He did make that comment. Aren't we just missing a lot of these clues?
Well, but the thing is, I can actually answer him in such a way. He said, how can you tell? Well, if right here, my skin is black. If I'm entering the US, how can you tell that I'm not an African American? Exactly. Until I speak, right? Right. So that's how we will tell. If
he also said that the people in Bayelsa, the Fulani in Bayelsa, he said, speak Bayelsa, and we don't. So they are. He also said that.
But I'm saying that even what he said makes absolutely no sense.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? There's no logic to it. You cannot use that.
Yes, exactly.
There's no logic to it. And I'm saying that what he said absolutely makes no sense. You can't just say, by outlook or by observing somebody, you can say that makes them qualified, right?
Yes.
Exactly. Yes. So again, it's because what they are doing is to use their own warped, reasoning to make us think it's okay. It's not okay, and that's not how process should be, right?
Right.
If you want, yes. And that's the reason why we want self-determination. We want autonomy over our region. You will not decide to us how people will emigrate to our nation, right? You should not decide that for us. If you want your Fulani nation, yeah, okay, let's go our separate ways, and then you can bring all your Fulanis from wherever to your own nation. But
they don't have land. They don't have any land in Nigeria. They don't have ancestral land in Nigeria.
Yeah,
so they need to go back to the Gambia. They need to go back to the Futajalan and get a nation there.
Yes.
Okay, they need to go get a nation in Futajalan, because they are not in Nigeria up until the 1700. I think it was like late 1700, beginning of 1800 that
late 1700
came.
So,
I mean that's pretty much present day. But then, as you were saying, in the Constitution, you're saying that the Constitution has the things that it has in there, but they're going around that by using the president and then just bringing them in and then giving them PVCs and names, because we've seen the videos of that. They're giving them all of that, to make them, quote unquote, citizens.
Well, actually, Jean, what they're doing is that they wrote the Constitution to make it happen too.
Absolutely.
So everything is doctored. So that's why we cannot allow that. We cannot stand and say we want that Constitution, because that Constitution is so. I mean, it's not even agreeable to all. You cannot make your own rule and say this is our rule, right? Because there are so many pieces and parts to that union. So you can say this is our own rule and it's going to apply to everybody. But you see what they did is, in their head, just like Dr. Kayari said, we are conquered people already. And we need to let them know, no, we are not conquered.
We're not conquered.
You can't use deception to conquer, to say that you've conquered. No. We are not. And that's what we need to stay on. If I may just conclude real quick.
Oh yeah, take your time. I'm just asking you a question just so that you can continue to expand. Yes.
Okay. So so that's one other means that they're using, right, to get Fulanis into Nigeria. We talked about the other reasons, then we talk about the Constitution, and then there's also this, the nepotism, right? Let me show us something real quick. The list, like maybe the first 20. Ministries in Nigeria.
Exactly.
Heads them, including Petroleum Ministry is headed by Buhari. Can you imagine? The president, also the minister for. Okay, hold on. I'll pull that up real quick.
Our people really need this information.
It's ridiculous. What is going on is so ridiculous. It's not even funny.
Yeah, our people really need this information.
Okay, so I'll do that now while I'm pulling that up. Okay.
And so, I mean, one of the key things that you're talking about, is the fact that Constitution, the 1999 Constitution, is actually geared for the benefit of the Fulani.
Exactly.
All those who are one Nigeria. They actually don't know that the definition of one Nigeria is Fulani Nigeria. That's pretty much what we are seeing. Okay, so let's take a look at I mean, just the visuals alone tell you the story.
And this was the list for 2021. Just this.
Yes.
So
go ahead.
What are the names? Do you see minister? See again. One thing that you will see, the pattern that you will see here is that the ministries that have, that have really very weighty, that, with money and influence.
And the military.
The ones that are like, ramshackle, really insignificant ones, right?
Yes.
Are the ones that you will see, some Southerners or some, middle belters there. So let's take a look. Look at this is the first 10, right?
Yeah, you can read it. You can read out the
Okay, so the first 10, so Zainab Ahmed, Kaduna State, Minister of Finance, money, right? Muhammad Mahood, from Kaduna State. This is their state of origin. Because they are taking over all. So Minister of Environment, right? All the environment, remember, all the green spaces, right? All of the waterways, those kinds of things, yeah. Sabo Nanono, Minister of Agriculture and Development, right? Again, food, you know, things that are really important, right? Major General Bashir Sahili Magashi, Kano State Minister of Defense, right? The military, right? ID Sirika, Katsina State Minister of Aviation. Abubakar Malami, Kebbi State Minister of Justice. You know,
wow.
Yes, how they can misinterpret the laws and then, you know, and then tweak the laws, you know, to kind of, you know, to favor them, right?
Right.
Amatu Tijani, Kogi State Minister of State for Federal Capital Territory. Then look at this, Minister for Misinformation. We call him Minister for
Lai Mohammed. Mohammed.
Disinformation and disinformation.
Yes.
Right there.
Propaganda machine.
Exactly. Do you see how they put the last three right there?
Yeah.
That are not from the north. Well, even Kwara State is considered, you know, they consider Kwara State, but
exactly because of the Muslim influence that Dr. Kerry was talking about. Yes.
Yeah. And then Fashola from Lagos State, Minister of Works and Housing. Now there are still some more names here. So we have Minister for Health. Then come again, you see Minister for State Science and Technology.
Wow.
It's another Fulani person. Zubaya Dada, Niger State, Minister for State for Foreign Affairs. Then Olamile Kwadegbite, Minister for Mines and Steel. How many steels and how many steel works or
exactly
right? No,
exactly.
Tayo Alasho Adura, Minister of State and Labor. Then Rauf Aregbesola, you see all those ministries, all those ramshackle with the yeah. But then they do the heavy lifting, but they
Minister of Police Affairs, Sokoto State.
The main thing, right? The one of the main, yeah, Minister for Police Affairs, right? Let me see. That's my Garahi Din Yadi.
Dingyadi.
Yadi, yeah, Minister of Police Affairs, right? And so we talk about, there's insecurity, you know, AK-47 wielding, you know,
yes.
Blah 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 blah. Who is in charge? Them.
Fulani.
So so tell me, what kind of hope do we have that the insecurity is going to stop anytime soon?
No, okay, one other thing that I would mention to you guys is that they have a joint force to combat terrorism in West Africa, but it doesn't include any countries that are led by Christians and non-Fulani leaders. So how can Fulani fight Fulani? And why exactly? Again, the reason I'm bringing this up is that our people are missing the invasion already taking place diplomatically and through all these channels that you're talking about, right? And that we're talking about today.
And I want us to point to this one. See this?
Yeah.
The Minister big money, right? Minister for Petroleum, Buhari himself. You see what? So basically, it's like all these are planned actions. They are planned processes to make sure that it actualize, you know, what they call their great-grandfather's, whatever delusion. I'll just call it their great-grandfather's delusion that God has given them our land. So I'm just going to stop right there so that, there can be other people. There can be.
Okay. Yeah, very powerful information, And one of the things that we talked about is that when you drill down into NNPC, when you look at the top 20 in NNPC, check out their names. And one of the things that was in the Constitution, and please, ancestral Nigerians, from the north to the south, pay attention, okay? Federal character is in the Constitution to say that the governance should reflect all the tribes and all the nations that are in Nigeria. However, they put a section that says you cannot take that to court. which means federal character doesn't exist. The Fulani that wrote, when they wrote that constitution, made sure that you cannot, you Yoruba, you Igbo, you Hausa even, Ijaw, Irobo, TV, whatever, Biram, Anioma, it doesn't matter. You cannot go to court and say, court, we must change the people who are in this ministries to reflect federal character. You cannot do that. It is not something that can be enforced. You cannot take it to court. So it's important when we're talking about the Constitution, we need to be really clear so our people understand what we're talking about. It's not restructuring where you shift things around. You can shift things around as much as you want. The situation is not going to change because the foundation is faulty. The Constitution is only geared in one thing, to conquer our land. That's what it's geared towards. So we have to make it clear. So thank you very much, Modupe. That was like really, really great for you to talk about that. And Dr. Carey,
yes,
go ahead.
Yeah,
Anyone that wants to make a comment?
Yeah, thank you.
This is very important.
Thank you for Modupe for that brilliant presentation.
I know.
And thank you. I hope you understand that I know that Yoruba community is one. I know. There are my very close friends are Yoruba. They're actually in our village. They're from Obomoso, and they're very industrious. They have never taken one piece of someone's land. Whatever land they have there, they worked for it. If you take them away from our village, there's no rice. You're not gonna. There is milling. That's how great and how much I know. But I just was talking about the mentality of the so-called conqueror. That's what he thinks, and they use that a lot to divide and rule. Now, you also, the list in the ministerial appointment shows clearly the Fulanization, because you look at Kaduna State, for example, the two names of the ministers from Kaduna State are Fulani, whilst we have 66 indigenous people in Kaduna State who are not Fulani. Not a single one of them is a minister. Okay, and so that's, you know, and if you look at most of the Middle Belt states like Nasarawa and other states, Plateau, apart from Pauline, which probably she's a pawn, not probably, that's exactly what it is. The rest of the ministerial appointments in the Middle Belt, where you have indigenous Christians, indigenous Middle Belters, they will put a Fulani person. And so it's clear, even nepotism is one of the strategies, as Modupe has said. And people, I don't understand why people don't understand that nepotism is one of the worst forms of corruption. Is one of the worst forms of corruption, and the Fulani are very good at that. It's a Fulani man first. Buhari had always been one of those, ever before he became a president now. He would fight for the cause of the Fulani first, before any other person. So that is quite enlightening. You know, I wish all the people from Middle Belt, from the Southwest, Southeast will understand that we are working with something that is poisonous. The Constitution is a poison, okay? It's a charlotte, it's a poisonous substance that has been pushed to our throats and forced to accept it as it is. And it gives them the power, the fool, to rule, to continue to conquer, to continue to conquer to probably a point of no return. And I wish we could do something now before it's too late.
Exactly, because we are running out of time. Okay, thank you very much. A really, really powerful message today. Now let's talk about, Donald had to leave, but so we're going to come to Honorable, who's going to talk to us about, will the 2023 elections fix what we're talking about? Because that's something that's very important, because, you know, the politicians have come out, they're handing out, 100 Naira, 200 Naira cards for people to vote for them. They're giving, they're giving out rice, even though they hid the palliatives for COVID because it was not an election year, right? Even though they are living the life of luxury with the highest compensation in the world, and their people are dying of hunger. So will this dash, will it fix this problem of invasion that is embedded in our Constitution, that is now embedded in our leadership? Is it going to fix it, Honorable?
Thank you very much for this opportunity, and thank for all the participants before now. Actually, all of us here are insiders. We are just reviewing what we know, what we have heard in different places, and then maybe either to update what seems to be coming on, even with the coming of the preparation for the coming election. One thing that is so good this time now is that recently there was a publication and interview here and there where they said there were a meeting of 100 for 2020. The idea and the motive of this meeting was to acknowledge the fact that Nigeria is not at peace and that it would be wrong to go into election under this circumstance. And that echoes what we have been saying long before now, that the election is an instrument to renew the fraudulent election, the constitution. And we should not allow it to go on once again. That simply means allowing the 2023 election to hold is not a solution to the Nigerian problem. And the solution to the Nigerian problem is to realize all that have been said by all here, from Dr. Kari to Dube to Jean and every other person, even Donald, every other person that has spoken here. So what are we saying here? Let me just re-echo a few informations or a few messages by some so-called intended candidates of the coming election. Audius Okalo was asked on an interview, are you contesting for election? I think did he go to president to declare or not? He said that yeah, the issue is not declaring. The issue that if one wants to contest, if an Easterner, put it this way, wants to contest the election based on the structure we have today, definitely he will not win. It is only if there may be the power that be, let me not use name to the question people, permits that an Easterner will be a candidate. In that case, he will contest among with the Easterners. But if it is to contest in the Nigeria the way it is, that definitely he cannot be. This is to tell you the type of Nigeria we have today. And how did he get to this point? He said, if you do not know your past, you cannot know your present, and then you'll not be able to prepare for the future. Yes, Nigeria by 1953 constitution was a federation of constitutions, constitution of 3 regions, and was later came to 4 regions about 1963 after the amendment to the constitution. And this went through all democratic processes. It was not created by fiat of power at the center who chooses what he feels as a boundary and what. It was a consultation by the people, both at the Western House of Assembly and even the regional areas that needs to be created as a Midwest. Rather, by the 1966 coup and then the military came in, this military definitely you should know does not represent the people, because military is a military lineup. It is not a democratic structure. And there's no way such makeup can give you a democratic structure of what do you call it? Structural division, as we had it today, called the states, 12 states, and what do you call it, and what will come to be today. So it is simple means that we are living with the enemy within. That's what, from all what we have said here now, it's clearly said that we are living with the enemy within, because from the onset, when the 1953 Constitution made it a federation, they said all the 3 regions then we participate on equal capacity. That simply means they will produce the same number of people to every joint sectors, which we may call federal government. By the time we have the military coup, these things were no longer there. And without start telling us that the North is from there to the East. And everything that's supposed to be people's agreement seems to be either jettisoned out of the way. So the question is, if we go on election, if now we have seen the issue coming up, people say president should, the new candidate or the next president should come from the North. Some other people say from the East, some other from the West. And if we go by whatever, by what they call it, open competition as the case may be, going by the structure the way it is today, the structure that was not made by the people, structure that are based on the constitution that were imposed on the people without their consent. The constitution that said we people made this constitution, which is a lie. And based on this sole constitution that most of the actions we are having today, ministerial appointment, open border, security networks and other things that are based on. The situation simple means Nigeria has been structured in a way that even if you bring a cent, what did I say? If you bring a cent to try to be the most honest, if the honest will be, because this idea of honesty this time now will be on the narration and interpretation of people from different point of view. We've seen most of the leaders who continue to emphasize, which seems to be right, but in the wrong sense, that you must not lose your culture. And this culture of takia, where people relate to the others with lies, how will it help us? We have had a situation where in different conflict time in Nigeria, from election, it was reported by Baraje, former chairman of PDP, that in before 2015, people from different parts of the world, including, which means mostly of these Fulanis, were invited from different parts of the world to come and vote out Jonathan. And after the election, they didn't go back. And this is what led to what we have today as insecurity in the Northeast. Again, this is not the first time missionaries are invited to Nigeria for one purpose or the other. And each time they came in, they never went back. And when we are talking of this influence of non-indigenous or non-indigenous to Nigeria, it has been people who have been using it for political gains, individual gains. And this has not been helping the society at all. And when you bring in these people who do not have a home, who have a place, don't have a job, what will you do? If at the end of the day, they are not settled, automatically they will resort to crime. Because either maybe when they came in for whatever purpose you may have invited them, you were feeding them, giving them a space, giving them where to hang, even when they were not doing anything. Maybe after the election, you now become a responsible person. You don't want to do that anymore. And then you leave them to hunger. What will I expect them to do? That's what we have here today. This is a political game that has failed Nigeria too long. And those who are doing it don't seem to accept the responsibility and don't think of doing something. So in effect, if we go on election the way we have it today, it is either Nigeria will break before then, will break during then, or immediately, what do you call it? Result is announced. This will happen in a dangerous way. Remember what we were told that was prepared for before 2015 election. One of the things maybe the ex-president, former president saw and then felt that his life is not worth of anybody's blood. And if that is the attempt we are using to get ourselves to power, that's exactly one of the ills of this country. So what we are saying today is this. If the people have started, I want to encourage us that first of all, our message is being heard by people. If this group of 100 or 2022 are coming in to say the same thing we are saying, if I had even Mowalo recently, not too recently, but recently, coming in to say that acknowledging the fact that they have a wrong constitution and there may be one of the things they should do before then. But the idea is that whoever, just like I said, our institution have been structured in such a way, if you, at the end of the day, you still elect this number of senators who have this level of maybe cultural inclinations. Tomorrow, if we bring this issue to the Senate, if that is even the place, they vote it down. Jonathan said it that one of the reasons he didn't send the National Assembly to the National Assembly then was because of the either coming close to election or other information he said. But all these things cannot still change because the number remains there. And this number was imposed on us because of the wrong constitution. So brothers and sisters, we cannot get head anywhere with the new election. A new election, once again, is to renew the life of this fraudulent constitution. And anybody who be elected under this constitution will still swear into the constitution. And some may not have the moral, if not legal right, to change it. The only way to change Nigeria is either to give back, just like they want to do by constitution force majeure, give back the people the chance to make a constitution for themselves, just like the way they did it in South Africa, and the things got to the people's decision. Even at that point, we know we still have issues to get about, but let it be the people's choice instead of imposed ideas. I believe by the time our draft constitution is put to people's scrutiny and referendum, a lot of issues that are hidden, just like you saw the citizens of the nation being somebody who was born or who is before 1960. How can that be a way to be a citizen of a nation? And then if somebody will just happily tell you that somebody of Fulani is everywhere coming from Nigeria, and then another person is telling you that Fulani are stateless, when they start having states this time around? So there are a lot of issues that, and the people say this freely and go their way, nothing happens. Either because they are saying the mind of the calculated attempt to get what they want. And thereby, we are here making haste while some people are working on it. Recently, I saw a tipper filled with what do you call it? With dogs, trained dogs.
Yes,
dogs,
killer dogs.
Catch dogs, as it is called.
Killer dogs.
Killer dogs. And then some people are taking these killer dogs, coming to your
these
territory.
are the Fulani. There's a Fulani. It's not
And
just
then
anybody. Fulani they're bringing in dogs into the South. They're killer dogs.
And the wrong thing about this is that these people, either by a group of individuals, some people who are there planning what they want to do every day. You and me are here being Christians, being honest, trying to be civil in our relationship.
And moderate Muslims, moderate Muslims are not, because they're not extremists, right?
Some other person is there raw, extreme, wanting you off for
cutting off people's heads in videos.
Wrong
like
and
animals.
wrong. Look at the list of ministerial appointments given to us. Look at the list of defense lineup given to us. Look at the list in the NNPC. Every source of income in this country is there. And then what at the worst of it is a 61 exclusive list is in the hand of the office of the president.
Yes.
That simply means when a president
who is a Fulani. Who is a Fulani? Let's make sure people understand he is Fulani.
This is wrong. And those who changed our system of government from parliamentary system, where we have the regional powers, to this presidential system of America, which was not actually studied, are the people, because listen, power they said corrupts, and the absolute of it corrupts absolutely. I want to tell you, for somebody to be called a president in the structure we have in Nigeria is absolute power. In fact, he has a power more than that of Putin, I must tell you.
But that is design. That is a design. So
it is a design, and then these are the problems. And then if we renew our election again by 2023, anybody you put there, even if he's a puppet, some other persons or group of persons will be using him still to achieve their goals, and that's the problem we have in Nigeria. So first of all, is that we should go back to the drawing board, which is the constitution, get it reviewed,
right, and then need a referendum, right?
And that's the only way we can get it right. Any other place is still maybe funding the slavery, and it's not acceptable. Yes. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you very much. And it's open to discussion now. Welcome, Stephen, to the group. Modibe, if you have any comments, do please chip in as well. But I mean, one of the things that is important here is that we're going to elections under a constitution that we have now shown it's not just a constitution, but also a minority, very minority visitors to the ancestral land called Nigeria. These are visitors to the land, have now captured captured our government. They have captured every avenue of revenue and made sure that federal character was unenforceable in the Constitution, so no one outside of the Fulani can challenge it, right? And so, as Prof. Akintoye said, the Yorubas are living like slaves on their land. The Igbos, we're living as slaves on our land. The Middle Belters, we're living as slaves on our land, right? This is the reality of what's in front of us. The Ijaws, the Idomas, the Galas, okay? All of that is living under slavery because that's what that Constitution is driving. And then they have used that to put themselves in power positions. And so when you look at what Prof. Akintoye said, when they said they have all the resources, of course they do, because they've taken all the money from Nigeria. If not, why is it that there isn't a single refinery in the South where the oil comes from? Now they have an agreement with Niger. That's the country, Niger, where they have Fulanese. So the South that owns the oil, it's on their ancestral land, cannot make use, do not have any decision making over their own assets. And yet Zamfara gold belongs to Zamfara, and in saying that we mean the Fulanese.
Jane, if I may just chime in real quick. So yeah, I actually have a video where these people, I mean, if you know the extent of their plan, you will be like, wow. So
Well,
it's like,
yeah, that's what we're here to do.
Actually, yeah. So exactly. So, and you know, and I believe some of this we need to share with ourselves and our people so that we know they are even prepared for Nigeria to break.
Yes.
I'm telling you, they are.
Yes.
I will show you. Hold on once. I will show you that real quick. They are so prepared for it to break, and that's why they are looting massively, so that they are keeping everything, so that if we I mean, like when that time comes, which I think is going to be soon, they think in their minds that, oh, already they got it, you know, I mean, they got everything, you know,
right, because they've been taking all the oil money, all the gold, because, you know, I don't know if you guys saw the videos last year where the gold in Oyo, the people didn't even know that there was gold there, and they had built an airfield, and they were airlifting the gold from Oyo out to international locations. Okay, this is the extent of what we're talking about.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So I think there's a
Need a new pair of sneakers? DSW is my go-to.
All right.
You might want to do the full screen on your YouTube. You want to do the full screen on YouTube.
Fulani
go to
people ready
full
for
screen
breakup
on
of
YouTube.
Nigeria more than any other ethnic group.
Go to full screen on YouTube.
Okay, all right.
Allah.
No, I think
The National Secretary of Mieti Allah, Kautal Hore, Alassane Saleh, says the Fulani ethnic group is more prepared for division of Nigeria than any other ethnic nationality, amid the insecurity and tension caused by clashes between farmers and herders in some parts of Nigeria. Southern governors had recently banned open cattle grazing in the entire 17 southern states of the country, as they should. Speaking to Sahara reporters, Saleh said Fulani leaders, actually herders, are not the problem facing the country. He added that the Fulani ethnic group is ready for division of the country. He said herders are insignificant when it comes to the problem of this country. Actually, they're not. But let's continue. Are they the ones looting the treasury? What damages are they causing this country compared to the criminal activities of Yahoo boys? Are you joking? Okay, I'm not trying to justify what internet fraudsters are doing, but you are trying to tell me, you're trying to tell us that they carry more damage? If anything, they have a useful skill when it comes to technology, which you can argue, yes, it's not being used for the right thing, but there's a skill attached to the crime. This is just... Headsmen, they're literally breaking so many laws. barging into people's land,
murdering,
eating their crops, destroying it, even have the audacity to even, kill, rape, and do most things to the actual owners of the land. Open cattle grazing at our big age. When look at the development that we could have. Look at where we are. We're a developing economy. Do you know how condescending that is?
So
Nonsense.
let me just stop that real quick. And hold on. Let me I'm going to stop my screen.
Vagabonds in power, like Samuel Otom. Do you think that
Hold
if
on.
there's no more money,
Let me
all
stop
these
this
things
real
will be
quick.
happening today?
Okay. So what I'm trying to say here is to connect what what we've been saying is that will 2023 fix anything? No, it's not going to fix anything. Even if we put if we put a southerner or a middle belter in there, because you know what, these people, they are so organized in their in their plans, in their devilish plan. So what they're doing is they will use deception. They will use manipulations. They will use everything, to make you feel like, oh, you know what? Oh, the problem is us. You see, they're saying, oh, the problem is not Buhari, who is so complicit with with insecurity. The problem is not their kingsmen who are going into people's farms and killing people and chopping people's heads off, right? But the problem are the Yahoo boys. So it's like, oh, you are the problem. Once you can fix yourself, then everything is going to be okay. So again, I use this example to kind of to drive home the point that these people will use all kinds of tools, including the constitution, everything, including manipulations, to make you think that, oh, there's nothing. You know how in an abusive relationship, the abuser will say, oh, you know what? Oh, you made me so mad.
You made me do it.
You made me do it.
You made me do it.
We should reject that.
Yes. We should reject reprisal theory. Yes.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay. I mean, really great presentation, Honorable. And I think this program has been like very, very informative. So we've been talking about the things that are going on. And today we're not going to talk about should money, land, jobs be given to foreign Fulani and even the Fulanis who are in Nigeria and not to the ancestral owners of the land that are being starved to death, which is their other tool of invasion, is starvation. So we have over 90 million people in Nigeria living in abject poverty, and almost 10 million of them are in dire straits and ready to die. This is a strategy, okay? And so we're going to move on and talk about, well, what should the ancestral landowners be doing right now? Should they be going to election? Or is there a litany of things that they should be doing and really haven't been doing? And I'm going to kick it off with the first one, because I think that's the most important. We need to put aside every difference right now from the Middle Belt to the South, which is the Ninas Alliance territory. You need to put aside all differences right now and come together to defend your life, your land, your heritage. This is imperative. And Freedom from Nigeria, that's what we're about. Bringing everyone to the table. Don't care, except, as long as you're not engaging in any act that is killing our people, you are welcome. And we're calling all groups, all organizations, all individuals, all political people, governors, senators, all of them, you need to back up and protect your people, because your life is not even guaranteed. Because in the video from the lady pastor, remember Majupe, it said it clearly. They're going to be the first that they're going to kill. Okay, they think they're going to get on their private jets and jet off, but they're forgetting that those Fulanis now have land-to-air missiles. We've seen them take down aircraft, right? You've seen that, you saw those videos. So it's not, the world is, the dynamics is changing in Nigeria, and the first thing that must happen is unity. Middle belt to south, everyone must come together, or there's people who've been taking your money to buy guns. Remember, it's only Fulanis that can carry weapons in Nigeria. Only Fulanis. Only Fulanis. They are killing human beings to save cattle, is what they want us and the world to believe, that it is okay to kill human beings, slaughter them. You've seen the videos. They hold their necks and they slaughter them, cut off their heads and send the videos out. This is the people we're talking about. So unify every organization, all the politicians in the alliance territory. It's time to back up, come together, and really understand, because if you guys are not understanding this, it's a serious problem. Okay, next one. What steps? Modupe, what is your suggestion? You're muted.
Sorry. How about we start with stopping the voyage, the 2023 election?
That's huge, isn't it?
Yes.
We must stop it. Yes. And as Honorable talked about, you heard him talk about, because we saw that information that came out, that the politicians are now recognizing that things have to change before you can even talk about 2023. Okay, I don't have the picture of that, or I would have I would have pulled it up. But they're recognizing that 2023 should not happen, right?
Yes.
Pastor Defarasin has made the comments out there. Now we have lots of people making the comments out there. Okay, and one of the things that we're going to have to do in one of these programs is to kind of bring all that together, because once we bring it all together, our people will see that there's a lot of energy around that, right? Because knowledge is power, and we need to be able to disseminate this information broadly to our people so they understand what's going on. Honorable, what else can we do? Halt the voyage. We said we have to unite immediately, more than we're doing already. We shouldn't be going forming other teams. Everyone needs to unite under a neutral umbrella so that we can do all the things that we need to do. Halt the 2023 elections. Honorable, what's your what do you?
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I think they have started having a unity of purpose, not a unity of as an organization.
Exactly, that's what we need.
Unity of purpose in the sense that almost good number of the politicians. In fact, there is a publication made by P2B, one of the stickers I saw, where it is said, I think he was saying that how can you drive a vehicle without engine, without
tires,
something blame box, without this, without that? Then if we start saying this, people who put it this way, people who matters, let me use that word. It doesn't mean that I'm berating myself, but if people who somehow are in certain positions start saying something like that, it becomes clear that we have a problem. Because I think they said when you recognize your problem, it is 70% solved. Absolutely. So if we can be able to realize the fact that we have a problem, whether they are afraid to say it is a constitution, but people are saying it, or whether they say it is a mentality issue, whichever be the case, the fact is that in fact, different ways they have said it. I said what Odizokale said, that if he is put in direct contest in the election, that he will lose, unless the chance is voted to the southeast, and then within the southeast he can be able to contest and find himself. But if it that simply means we have them structured in a way that
we have no democracy.
Exactly.
One Nigeria, unitary Nigeria, is not a democracy. It is being controlled by the Fulani Caliphate. And it is being controlled by the Fulani.
Excuse me, brother, let's get this right. It started from the revenge coup of 1966. From that time, maybe, first of all, they were saying not. But I used the word before, enemy between. What is enemy between? Enemy between is to enemy get what he wants and then get what he wants and then deject you. This is exactly what they have done. And then the funny thing, because many Southerners, including the Middle Belters, are talking of nationalist, we are nationalist instinct. And then we don't normally go into what my people want or create a caucus of your own. But these people have already instituted caucus, whether you like it or not. We were told as a young man that after the 1966 coup, the then head of state appointed the 4 governors or 4 regional leaders. While the eastern leader, Ojukwu, went to the east, locked up most of the politicians, some of them put them in a 10 meters radius or 20 meters radius. The Western leader went home and then a kind of consulted his people, and then they had a kind of administrative engagement. The Northern leader went and knelt down in front of the Sultan, and he informed him what to do, and he started doing that. That's why they were not doing as working as a militant. While these people are trying to be a kind of military democrat, there were some other people are serving as a military technocrat. Yes. And remember, that's affected even the colonization. Why do we have direct rule in one place and then direct rule in another place? It is because the colonial masters came in, they saw that these people have a structure already. Yeah, absolutely. Or whoever, he tells the people and they listen to him. If you go to the south, including the middle belt, but mostly the south, if you get somebody's father, the wife run away. If you get the wife, the children run away. So that simply means you have to be there looking for each person and each day. But that's the liberty we have. That's the liberty, the level we are. That simply means we are not one people at all and supposed not to have been here. That's the first wrong foundation. It's really foundation made in a very, very wrong place. Sandy. Yeah. And this is difficult to mend. Honestly, if we are honest. Okay, sorry. Honestly, what should have saved us should have been a federation where people are running at different pace and maintaining their culture. Then if people like us, they come around you. If not, you live where you live. But now we created a nation with a lot of power at the center, and whoever comes center trying to enforce those unaccepted cultures on others. And this is the problem we have here. And
we're trying to come up with solutions, right? We talked about the halting the 2023 election, uniting on purpose, okay? Because we're not trying to get everyone to come under one organization. We're trying to get them to unite under the Nigerian referendum, unite under restore the Nigerian nations, unite under end the 1999 Constitution, so that we can break the apartheid that's been created by the Fulanese, who are not indigenous to the land, who don't even have ancestral land in Nigeria. It boggles my mind. Okay, and then so one of the things that I think that we should be doing, that they should be doing, is they need to challenge all these programs. Why are the Yoruba, the Igbo, the Ijaw, the Irobo, why are we not challenging all these federal money going to the Fulanese? There's Ruga, there's open grazing, there's the one that the Bauchi governor talked about, telling them to come in and get money and jobs. And we had the last week, I think we had where, was it Donald or someone was talking about the fact that actually somebody told them that they were leaving, they had a really good job wherever they were in another country, but they were going to leave there and come to Nigeria because they're being called to come to Nigeria to take the jobs. But do you know what that is? They're taking the jobs from the indigenous people from the middle belt to the south and those in the north, obviously. I'm not living at a house of brothers, but I mean, that's what's going on. So we need to challenge and call a halt to all these programs that favor the Fulanese, right? Now, we had Ninas that had challenged, which was back then was Movement for New Nigeria, had challenged the Constitution, and that didn't go anywhere. But there's no reason why that cannot be brought back up. It should be brought back into court because there's clear evidence, right? That lawsuit should be, we need to file a new lawsuit against that Constitution, right? What about the fact that they said no rallies, no peaceful rallies, so that the people will not hear about what's going on? Have we challenged that and demanded an expediency in the resolution of it? That has to go, because in the Constitution, you are guaranteed peaceful, for you to have the freedom of peaceful assembly. Just because you send the DSS or the police to come and disrupt peaceful rallies does not make it a rally that is not peaceful. You can't create the situation and then put through a bill. And by the way, they use someone from the South to bring that bill up. They use someone from the South. So Stephen, what are some ideas that you have? We're talking about challenging the Constitution, challenging that no rally so that we can go out and meet our people. What about, should we be challenging the citizenship of the Fulanese themselves? All of those coming in, because if they're inviting people who are already citizens, which is their MO, they grab everybody from everywhere, bring them to the country that they want to invade, right? Install their person in there, then go to the next West African country. If you guys know the number of West African countries that are now ruled by Fulanese, you would be in tears. This is not just a Nigeria problem. They have, because they move their people from one place to the other, because they cannot be popular, they cannot be reproducing that quickly. So all they do is what they're doing here in Nigeria, calling the people from everywhere, bringing them to one country, changing the demographics, then move to the next West African country and repeat. So should we be challenging the citizenships of these people?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
First, we need to recognize the danger of the enemies from within.
Yes.
The enemies from within are significantly hampering our ability to do effective grassroots.
Grassroots, yes. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yes.
Grassroots campaigning, both to educate on the dangers that lurk in our homeland and the things we need to do to get rid of those dangers. Because the enemies from within, specifically the politicians,
yes,
are very adept at feeding crumbs to the grassroots citizenry, the same way the Fulanis are feeding the politicians grassroots crumbs to their detriment, not recognizing that they're captives. So what we need to be doing, and I believe Ondo State is doing that very well, is tackling the enemies from within first, the politicians at the grassroots level, to let them know that this is what is happening to us. Ondo State has done that, and the Fulanis, even though they are not as pronounced as they are in other states like Ogun and places like that. But in other key states of the Southwest, the politicians, in particular the governors, are still slave to the Fulanis, because essentially what they are doing now is cowering to the simple threats of the Fulani without paying any attention to the citizenry. So I think it's about time we take a radical position, and I'm not at liberty to say that publicly, so it is not misconstrued.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
So,
okay, that's awesome. Now, one of the other ones that I'm going to offer We need to demand the return of all lands to the ancestral owners. So all the IDP folks, their land must be returned. Their dead must be compensated for. Their farms must be compensated for. And that has to be done by both Miiti Allah and the federal government that has not taken steps to do that. That must happen. So the middle belt to the south, where all of these atrocities have happened, must stand up and demand this. It must be done. And in the process, before that happens, the federal government, instead of paying bandits and kidnappers who are Fulani herdsmen, we've seen the videos telling us that they're all one and the same. They need to be paying to make sure that the people in the IDP camps have nice structures to live in. They have food, the kids have schools. Because there are things, when you don't do these things, then they can say, oh yeah, we've conquered them. I mean, they're not even raising their voices to do anything. So all these organizations and corporations and groups and individuals, we're calling on you today. There is work to be done that you're ignoring. It's good to agitate. It's good to demand our self-determination under the NINA self-determination plan. But we must do the other things that we have to do, because then, the international community and the world leaders and people say, oh, it has to be Nigerians that free themselves. Well, the court of public opinion is very important, because Biafra would have succeeded if they had international partners early enough. We must learn from history. We can't say, oh, Nigerians would do it themselves. How are you going to do that? We are under lock and key. The people in Nigeria are under lock and key, under apartheid, and they're being killed daily without a single politician condemning it. Buhari has not condemned it. Bauchi governor has not condemned it. Gumi has not condemned it. Not a single Fulani person has been prosecuted for the millions of people displaced, hundreds of thousands who are refugees, hundreds of thousands who have been killed. And we keep silent. That has to change. Now they have brought up Marjorie, who are child killers, look it up. Aboki, who are young men killers. Then they've got all the people from Mali, from Mauritius, from even all the way up in North Africa. They're coming from the Gambia. They're coming from everywhere. They're now gathering them to claim Nigeria land as Fulani land when they are from Futajello. At least that's where, most of them are. Now they are ruling West Africa in a lot of countries, getting ready to take the whole West Africa. We gotta wake up. Ghana, you gotta wake up. So we're gonna talk about next time, should Nigerian money and jobs and land be given to foreign Fulani to come into Nigeria to be Nigeria's citizens, because everything is finite. There's 100% of stuff. If you give it to the Fulani, it means you're not giving it to the Yoruba. You're not giving it to the Igbo, the Ejo, the Kalabari. You're not giving it to those from Bayelsa. The Niger Delta isn't getting it, right? Irobo not getting it. Taraba, people from Taraba are not getting it. They're taken from the owners of the land, the owners of these assets, and giving them to foreign Fulani to come into. This is the enticement to bring them in so that they can take over Nigeria with population. Now that they've used the Constitution they've conquered our revenue source. Oil wells belong to Fulanis. The president, who's Fulani, is in charge of NNPC. And 20, as of last year, was 20 top people in NNPC were all Fulanis. And we've seen the ministers. They have conquered Nigeria assets and funds That's why they can say with boldness in their letter that they have the funds. Of course they have the funds, they've got Nigerian money. What person from the Middle Belt to South, how many of them are sitting, as Mojube showed us, how many of them are sitting in the corridors of the Nigerian money? None. So we must get our organizations to see what must happen. That should be our the things that we have to do. So we've run out of time today. We're here every Saturday, 7 p.m. Nigeria time, really trying to open the eyes of our people so that they can understand what's going on, so that we can have the right strategy to see that we end this apartheid and save the future of our people. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys a second each for us to close, and then we'll be done for the day. Mojube, what's your closing statement?
Well, the statement is that we can see through the deceptions of these people. We have seen how they are using the constitution, their fraudulent constitution, to define citizenship so that they can bring their people in. We have seen how they are using nepotism to kind of clench the the resources that belongs to the indigenes of Nigeria, who they are not. Right.
Yes, thank
and
you.
We have also seen, we also discussed, how they're using, force, and they're using violence to kind of, to prevent us from, from seeking the self-determination, which is our protected rights. All over the world is protected. And finally, we're also seeing how they have attempted to use manipulations as well to get us to feel like, oh yeah, we are brothers. Oh, where
Yes.
we should help our brothers out, that kind of deal. So all I'm gonna say now in closing is that we should not fall for any of this, and we should continue to work together, jointly, to make sure that all of their deceptions are being uncovered. So thank you all.
Thank you very much. And that was a powerful message that you provided. Again, facts. We deal with facts, and that's what's going to save our people. Honorable, 30 seconds. Closing statement.
Dupe has said a lot on this issue. I think the position and the information and the ideas projected by Ninas is the way to go. And I must assure you people that this is yielding enough, just like I said before now. What is necessary now is to see if how we can create a more cohesion so that we can reactivate this forum the way it used to be even when we started, because in this case, we'll be able to reach to more people. It is also good from time to time to have new persons, even if it's one or two, because it only helps to expand the message we have. And again, see how we can be able to work with some other, just like I said, we have, what did I use the word before? However, a lot of people now are buying the idea in different way and in different forums. So how to either harmonize the relationship or even encourage them wherever they are going, however they are approaching it. So far, it is in line with the ideas we have, because sometimes when you call people to your one umbrella,
exactly,
then the issue of leadership comes in. No, that's not what we're looking for. What we want here is this purpose to be achieved, and the only way is to stop this election. I am sure a lot of people are talking towards this direction. They knew the dangers that is in it, and then definitely, just like every other place, nothing comes so easy. Nobody will just give out the liberty. But there, I believe, even if the so-called head is not listening, or even if that little fraction there that wants to dominate us are not listening, good percentage are listening, we have been able to create a good understanding between the Middle Belt and the South as well. At least now, maybe Middle Belt, a good number of Middle Belters are seeing themselves and understanding that not only that it is necessary for them to join and have a liberal nation, they are victims if we continue the way we are. So in this case, I believe it is making impact on them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Stephen, did you have final words, or we can go ahead and close down?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, I do. Thank you. I think going forward.
Your video is off.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, because we're live streaming.
Oh, okay. I think going forward, we need to redefine Nigeria's problem to the extent that we recognize Nigeria does not have an insecurity problem because of poor leadership. No. Nigeria's problem takes its root in the Futajalo Manifesto, which recognizes any and every other tribe or ethnic group as subservient to the Fulani hegemony. With that kind of education, we will know that going through an election, we've been going through the 2015 election, did not solve the crime problem. The 2019 election did not solve it. Neither will be 2023 election. And that's because we are trying to solve the wrong problem. Exactly. The problem is not crime. The problem is not leadership, because we don't have any leadership. Okay. The problem is the Futajalo Manifesto that considers Nigeria a conquered territory of the Fulani. That's what we need to fight at the roots. Thank you.
Right, and it's not herder-farmer conflict.
No, not at all.
It's definitely not that.
Not at all.
Okay, thank you all very much. I really appreciate all the comments. And next Saturday we'll be tackling the other piece of it, which is, should Nigerian money be given to them? And then we'll also look at the information that Honorable had talked about a little bit earlier, where 100 of the current and past politicians made a statement that said there shouldn't be any candidates to 2023 until Nigeria is changed. Well, we're not quite sure what they mean by that, but they are now coming to understand what all the freedom groups are talking about. Restructuring is not going to do it, because restructuring does not touch the Constitution. So all those who are asking for restructuring, it does not stop the Fulani. You must go the full way and end that Constitution and restore the nations. And then they can determine, and this is in the Nina's constitutional force majeure, right? That we are all driving towards. So we're all on pace for the ideology. And then we just need to make sure that each group is working in such a way that they are not endangering our people to be able to save our people. So thank you all very much again. And I wish everyone a great weekend, and we'll see you here again. Invite some more friends. I do apologize, we were off air for quite a long time, so it's going to take us a little bit of time, Honorable, to bring all the people back, but we have tried to bring in new people, and we constantly bringing in new people.